Propaganda is a term that often implies something sinister. Synonyms usually include lies, falsehood, deceit, and brainwashing. During World War I, the United States employed this diabolical marketing strategy frequently. This one-sided information tool was used to persuade the American public and was one of the factors that led to the United States' involvement in World War I, which is considered a total war. Propaganda, whether through speeches, posters, motion pictures, or paintings, led the people to follow and support other aspects of a total war, such as rationing and the suppression of anti-war activities.
Propaganda posters were the main culprits in the spread of biased and misleading information. They negatively portrayed many ethnic groups of people, especially the Germans. Demonizing the enemy, a one-sided circus-type poster portrayed a gorilla with a club carrying of a half-naked woman, declaiming, "Destroy this mad brute," enlist in the U.S. Army. They were also referred to as the derogatory nickname of the Huns and were utilized as means in which to raise money in support of the war. Public attention and a powerful government propaganda effort led to suspicion of German immigrants and German Americans at home and to a movement for 100% Americanism. It also contributed to the passage of the Alien and Sedition Acts in 1918, which restricted immigration and free speech.
The most famous poster was James Montgomery Flagg's "I Want You," an image of Uncle Sam pointing a finger at the viewer. This national personification was used as a recruitment tool, illustrating the patriotic aspects of battle. A sponsor for political values and social ideas, the implementation of Uncle Sam appealed to many and led to a mass widespread of enrollment in the Army. Many posters also encouraged people to join the efforts of the Red Cross, especially women. The first poster describes the woman in the organization as the greatest mother in the world. What woman wouldn't want to be considered the best caretaker on the planet? Also, many of these images called for the knitting of clothing and socks for the soldiers with the use of clever catchphrases such as "knit your bit." All of the nation's time and effort went into the production and construction of supplies for the soldiers, which is another prime element of total war.
Propaganda was also spread through the word of mouth and speeches as a platform for addressing the American people. President Woodrow Wilson was quoted during a speech given to Congress, declaring, "Lead these people into war, and they'll forget there was ever such a thing as tolerance. To fight, we must be brutal and ruthless. And the spirit of ruthless brutality will enter into the very fiber of national life, infecting the Congress, the courts, the policeman on the beach, the man in the street." During this speech, Woodrow brought home the fact that even though little fighting took place on the actual soil, they were still fighting a war. A brutal, ruthless, total war that involved everyone from Congress to the man on the street.
In 1917, less than a week after the United States entered the war, Wilson created a committee on public information, which included a films division, a news division, and a division of pictorial publicity. They, along with Hollywood, created short documentaries and feature-length dramas mixing fact and fiction alike. If a government organization generating fiction-filled movies doesn't scream deceit, then what does? On November 12, 1918, the activities of the Committee for Public Information ended. Critics of the organization claimed that the artists and the visual arts had been used to promote censored messages during the war.
As mentioned earlier, Hollywood aided the war campaign by making patriotic films. Pro-war films such as The Battle Cry for Peace and pacifist films such as Civilization appeared in 1915 and 1916, respectively. But by 1917, American films showed mainly German brutality and depicted the war as a struggle between good and evil. According to the American media, the war seemed pretty black and white, but was it really?
Next time you look at an image or poster, make sure to check for some kind of bias or hidden message. Clearly, World War I was full of them, subtle and evident alike. Whether through the use of posters, movies, speeches, or paintings, propaganda was everywhere during World War I, infecting the homes and daily lives of every American. Total war, by definition, is a war in which every available weapon is used and the nation's full financial resources are devoted. Although propaganda did not have the power to fulfill this definition, it did provide for the occurrence of these events, which would otherwise have been non-existent.
Vive Pershing is the cry across